My name is Barbara Flynn. I'm Curatorial Advisor at City Center. I've just written the plan for public art for the City Center, which was adopted by Council a couple of weeks ago. My role over the next 3 years is to really look at the physical spaces of the city and make suggestions for how artists might address them. And now at the next stage, I'm writing artist briefs, and we'll start to get the artists involved, which is the most important part of the process. And the City Center Public Art Plan follows the topography of the city, follows the physical reality of the city. So for example, we see George Street as like a spine, and the east-west connectors, would be kind of cross streets, arteries crossing it. The main intersections like vertebrae. So there's a kind of body analogy that we've been making. Imagine that we've got an artist or artists who could be making works all along the way in those sort of empty spaces, so that you get a kind of art project or sort of an outdoor exhibition that occurs. We just walked from 2 small parks, which are, I find, quite fascinating, Barrack Street and also Regimental Square. Our view is they could be even better. And one of the ideas in the plan is looking at a model like New York's High Line. I love the idea that in Sydney we would create even a very small, absolutely wonderful place, like a refuge. Looking at the north end of the city, already there's some fascinating laneways in that part of Sydney. Some of the most beautiful, for example, Abercrombie Lane, Bridge Lane, Tank Stream Way, and others. Coming from Circular Quay, for example, we actually would have mapped out a sort of route for you, a kind of path that you could follow to get from Circular Quay to George Street. The idea is that you'll have all these wonderful touchstones eventually that'll be part of your daily experience. We will see a vast change in the next 3 years. Our completion dates for George Street and the East-West connectors are more or less the end of 2014, 2015. The whole rollout of public art will continue beyond that. I'd say at least till 2020. The plan talks a lot about building in surprise. Like, our idea is we will be surprised. We're about to be surprised by the artist. You never know what an artist's going to come up with, and prepare to be astounded. I went to university at Yale. I was in one of the early classes of women at Yale. In New York City, I very quickly started my own gallery, and then ultimately worked for one of the, I guess today, the largest gallery in the world, Gagosian Gallery. I came to Sydney for the first time in 1996 to see one of the Biennale of Sydney exhibitions, and have never looked back. I mean, I think Sydney's an absolutely great city. I'm excited to think 10 years from now the city will be completely different. You'll actually be walking from one marvelous work of art to another in a way that it's not, not quite yet that sort of picture, but it will be. And I find that thrilling, honestly.